conflict, conflict and emotional intelligence. How can we use emotional intelligence to manage conflicts or reduce conflicts more effectively? So I just got off of a coaching call with a client, and conflict came up. It was the primary theme that we talked about during our coaching call. And where this person was struggling was when as a sales manager, he needed to have conversations with people on his team who weren't performing at the right level, and he wasn't doing it as well as he could have, or he was avoiding it primarily because he was having what I call a key moment. And a key moment is a triggering event. So, for those of you who have attended one of my workshops or watched some of my videos or webinars, then you'll know that we do a lot of work within a model called the response chain that begins with a key moment. So, a key moment is an event, a conversation, something that happens that's a triggering event that usually demands a response and is especially accentuated when we're under pressure. So we looked at this, having to have this conversation as a key moment. And I said, "What are your thoughts about this?" And his thoughts were that he didn't want to cause the other person pain or anxiety because he wants to be a good guy. He wants to be a good guy. And I said, "Okay, so what were your feelings about it then?" And he said, "Well, my feelings were that were fearful. I was sad. I didn't want to do this." And then ultimately his behavior was that he didn't do it. He wasn't having these important conversations that he needed to have with people on his team. And so the step after behavior is either down the pathway of survival, where we avoid conversations, we avoid situations, we tend to blame other people, or the pathway of self-mastery, where we recognize that we're having this key moment and that we interrupt the process to have a better outcome. So I asked him to think about what would be different. How could he think differently about this key moment? And he came up with, well, a different thought could be that what I'm doing is actually going to help this person be more successful. Or if they're not being successful, then I might need to counsel them out to a different position. And I said, okay, so if that's your thought when this comes up, what are your feelings? And he said, well, there's still a little sadness. I go, that's fine. But do you feel the heaviness with it? Do you feel, like, do you feel any anxiety around it? And he goes, no, not really, not nearly as much, because I'm actually taking a position that I want to have, which is help people to be better. I said, okay, great. So then what would be your behavior? He said, well, I'd have the conversation. And I said, excellent. So we did a little bit more work in this area, and what was identified was a core belief that this person has that influenced this key moment to have those thoughts. And if he removed that core belief or the distortion around that core belief from this model or from this equation, what he came out with, instead of having this thought, oh my gosh, I don't want to cause this person pain or anxiety, I don't want to feel that either, to a new thought or a new meaning where, wow, I have an incredible opportunity to support somebody to be their very best. And if they can't be their very best here, then at some point I might need to counsel them to find something that they're really, really good at. And he actually identified in a previous situation, many years ago, where he delayed helping somebody, and when he finally did, this person actually was very successful at the new thing that this person was doing. And he thought, wow, if I had had this conversation earlier, then this person would have been happier and more successful sooner. So when we embrace emotional intelligence, when we look at our thoughts and our feelings and our behavior around it, and then we test to make sure if our thoughts are accurate, if we're not mind reading, like guessing what the other person is thinking, if we're not catastrophizing this conversation, if we're not fortune telling how it's going to go, like we already know how it's going to go, then we're in a much better position to manage our emotions, recognize the emotions in others, and really help this person be successful by being a very positive leader. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are about this. Please ask some questions or share your thoughts in the comments. And I'd also really appreciate it that if you found this video valuable, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so now so you'll receive notifications that of future videos that we launch. Take care and be well.